fast, fatal heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and past. I back up my actions back, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked. Attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Q's show here and now. Whenever we last left off, with this series, quite a bit of things have happened. Now, Deku and his fellow hunters, they landed on the planet where the Xenomorph Queen will be. And they are going on this massive undertaking. As, in the first day, Deku, he killed 30 Xenomorph. Aki, she killed somewhere around the same number, and Vasia, she killed around the same number as well. That would be 90 Xenomorph in total. Now, this is something that Deku, he noticed. He knew that for a regular human, this is seemingly very bad. However, for him, because of the way he's using his abilities and even his skills along with his own quirk, he does have a chance. However, his worry isn't about the number of Xenomorph. It's kind of the opposite. The Xenomorph, they've been attacking in smaller numbers, and that's the problem. Deku, he's worried about the wildlife on this planet. If everything they've seen is infected with a Xenomorph, they need to kill it, just to prevent that from happening. Now, in the next oncoming days, Deku, he would be proven right. The number of Xenomorph has started to increase, and he knew it was apparent whenever on day 4, he killed over 60 Xenomorph. He knew that things were starting to get bad, and we actually do have where the group, they've actually started to stick together, since the number for one person will be overwhelming, but for 3, it's more manageable. As we do actually have the Elder Yautja. He is watching them on this night, and he is waiting for exactly what they do. As Deku, he is sitting around an area where there is a large bonfire, and he is just waiting. As Deku, he is looking down at his gear, and he is going to clean more and more of this Xenomorph skin. As Deku, whenever he does peel off the green layer and find the layer that's on the other side of the shell, Deku, he does get a bit more excited. He's been working on this for a minute, and Deku, he actually has to go to bring his hand out and touch it with his bare skin. As whenever Deku, he doesn't feel any burning sensation, he knows that it's ready. As Deku, he does start to get things set up. It might be rough at first. However, whenever he does take the shell of the Xenomorph and try to at least form it into some arm guards, that does help out. And the Elder Yautja, he is watching Deku's creativity. Deku knows that that stuff is acid-proof, and he is trying to use it to his advantage. It's very much, well, he's never seen someone do that before, let's just say that. And we do actually have where Deku, while he's doing so, he does hear something out in the woods. Deku, turning and going to bring up a shuriken, as he does at least go to release the button that does shoot the multiple blades out of the top of it. Deku just getting ready, as he does hold up his arm, and at least go to bring up the other part of the Xenomorph head. The large shell that does look sort of like a shield. And Deku, while he is looking around, he does hear something scurry behind him. The moment Deku does immediately go to turn, he does go to throw out this shell and use it to punch at whatever it is trying to attack him. However, this thing Deku hits, it was smaller than he imagined. The force being able to grab it before Deku, whenever he does go to bring the shield backwards, just does crawl over the top of it, and immediately try to lunge at and towards Deku's face. However, Deku, he does go to bring up his arm and directly smash his fist across the side of it. And the arm guard Deku just made, it does actually take the Facehugger and shoot it off to the right. As Deku does send it smashing into a tree, before he does go to just throw the shuriken right at it, and pin it to the tree. The moment it does start screwing out a bit, Deku, he does just go to use his cannon, him blasting the top of it and destroying it. As you do actually have Vasya and Aki who are sleeping up in the trees. And Deku, whenever he does hear one of them climb down, he does get a turn. Scar, what was that? Nothing. It was one of those creatures that, well, wrap around the head. Facehugger. Yes, those things. Never encountered one before. And they are fucking terrifying. Like spiders. What is a spider? They have the same type of multiple limbs on the front of those things, but they're more spaced out. However, they don't have tails. Quite similar, actually. I know, right? Besides, this shows that we're at least getting closer, right? I believe so. Okay. I think we're on the right track. We've cleared at least the last 200 miles since we've all been working together. This is good. This is good. But then again, there's something that's annoying me. Every animal we've come across we have to kill. We can't risk them being infected. We can't risk them just being, well, potential infected. We have to scorch earth this place. And that is something that I don't know if you two will be alright with. What do you mean, scorched earth? Deku going to explain. As he does go to reach into the bonfire and pull out 2 massive flaming logs, expressing that these 2 things are going to be used to light this place up. And Xenomorph and Facehugger are either going to run for cover, or they're going to run back to the nest. They might be able to pin a tracker to one of those things and track it to the underground. Deku going to at least hold something up, expressing that he has a tracker that a human made. And if he's able to pin it to a Xenomorph, more than likely they'll be able to get some answers. Really? Yeah. Listen, I've been waiting for them to get massive in number. I know that sounds stupid, but these things are intelligent creatures, right? Yes, they are. They're highly creative and skilled. Exactly. Which is why I'm assuming they have the same type of intelligence as humans. If not, maybe more. Nothing less. If I put a tracker to them when they're small in number, they could probably kill a Xenomorph with a tracker. Say it as a liability, since they don't know what that is. And that's just my theory. If I'm able to do this, then maybe it'll get lost. Too much is going on in the chaos, and they won't know. It could be seen as a burn or embers being stuck on it. You really think that this will work? Well, I pray it does. Because otherwise, this is not going to work. And that's just the thing. We've been clearing out the planet, and we're already at the halfway mark tomorrow morning. If by the end of the 10th night, the 10th day I mean, we don't get this done, then we lose. We get struck back down by 1 rank and we start over from there. I don't like the sound of that. So, we're going to wake up Vassier and do this plan. Are you in? Well, it's the most crazy, stupid, idiotic idea I've ever heard. And I just like it. Her expressing by going to click on her mask and say something over the comms that Vasya needs to get up now. After a minute or two, she does go to at least sit up and ask what's up, and if they have any information. We're already on track for the Queen, and Scar has a plan. We're gonna burn this place down and track a Xenomorph with human tech. How does that sound? Interesting idea. However, won't that make it more hard for us to navigate? Essentially, no. You can navigate, you can run, and you can leap through trees. If a little fire is going to scare you, Vasya, you could just say so. Her going quiet for a second, before smiling and expressing that if they're going to do this crazy plan, then she won't be opposed to it. Her leaping down and going to grab two things from the bonfire. She's going to turn away and chuck fire directly into the forest. As Deku, he does go to do the same thing. Him actually going to run deeper into the forest, as he does this, going to start chucking down one of the two logs. And you do actually have the Elder Yautja, who he is actually observing this plan. And he is a little confused by it, because from what he can tell, this is a bad one. From what he understands, Yautja, yes. Well, not Yautja. Xenomorph, yes, they hate fire. And they're gonna light this place ablaze? It just seems stupid. Yes, he can understand parts of their plan, but he's unaware as to the other parts. From what he just sees, they're just gonna burn down a forest for no reason. And we actually cut back down onto the planet, where after at least going to run back to the campfire and grab more flaming sticks, Deku and the hunters, they're running around through the night, and they're just lighting everything up. And you do actually know where Deku, he does encounter a Xenomorph. Whenever he actually does encounter it, he does get ready. He's waving around one of these flaming sticks, and he does have the tracker in one of his hands. As whenever the Xenomorph does try to at least lash out with his tail, Deku does go to bring up his hand and cut the tail off. And whenever he does go to do so, he does go to throw out the torch directly towards the Xenomorph's face. Whenever it does so, it does actually go to try and jump backwards and try to turn away. As Deku does go to rush forward to the tracker and smash it directly onto the Xenomorph before actually going to try and burn it with a torch to send it running. As whenever it does so, Deku, after the Xenomorph does rush off, he does get ready. Him actually going to chuck the fire towards the forest more. As whenever the three do regroup, yeah. By the time morning comes around, the entire forest is engulfed in flames. And many Xenomorph in the area, they're sent running. And we actually do have our Deku, he's staying there with his mask on, in the middle of the forest with the other two. Him pressing down a few buttons, as he does at least go to inform them. This area is cleared of weird seismic activity. However, the Xenomorph he's tracking, it's currently at least 10 miles in that direction. And he can tell something. From what he can see, the Xenomorph, it just went underground. Really? You believe that it might be going back to the nest? Maybe. It could be that, or it might just be trying to hide from the flames. Let's see. Deku go and click down on a few other things, as he at least does bring up a map of the perimeter and everything they've checked so far. Almost about half of it is X'd off. And you do actually have where Deku does at least good look at the percentage, as it does go up more, and Deku he does get ready. As all three of them, they do rush off that direction and go to run through the flames. And there's even Deku. He's leaping in between trees, and he's just trying to get things ready. As while he's leaping through them, Deku, he is seen by the yautja. They can see him with his weird arm gauntlets that he made from the Xenomorph's skin. And Deku, he did even make something to protect his torso from acid. He even does have certain plates covering the top parts of his neck and throat. And it is actually kind of interesting. Deku's creativity is something that Vasya, she does somewhat see. She does think that it's weird Deku's not trying to just rush into things and hunt. He tries to approach them differently than a yautja. and it does give him an advantage sometimes. However, the acid-proof armor, that's something that she is curious about now, since she's seen it in action before. And you actually have a key. She knows that the amount of time they have would not be enough to try and at least make any for herself. However, she is more curious about it. Maybe they can bring this to the Elder Yautja and start to make purpose, or at least make use of the Xenomorph bodies. And that's something that is sort of interesting to her. As whenever they do get to the cave, they do all get ready. Now, before they all do walk in, you do actually have Vasie and Aki. They both do go to pull something from the pouches on their side and go to light them. As they do, then go to grab some sticks and then go to light those on fire. And Deku does just watch as he does go to do the same thing. Now, Deku, he knows why they're doing this. It's kinda clear. While most things can show up on thermal vision, or really even just appear there, they carry heat signatures. Something about the Xenomorph, you can't track them on that. You can't see them like that. It's why they prefer the dark. There's literally no way to track them. You can't see a heat signature. They don't carry them. It's probably because of their armor or because of their skin. Or they could be differently blooded, maybe? There's a lot of theories going around about that. And that's something that Deku, while he is walking through the cave, he is thinking about. He can tell already. The stuff on the wall, it's already not normal. And from what he can see, this is definitely something about the nest. That could be on the outskirts of it. Deku going to get ready. He does still at least have the one other item that he was able to bring. He doesn't know when he'd have to use it. However, he does know exactly how important it will be, especially down here. Many things are unstable about the area, and possibly the entire cave in general. There's a chance that maybe they could just take this place down and kill the queen that way. However, they'd still have to bring back the head. And trying to dig through rubble for 5 days while there's aliens trying to track them down? That sounds impossible. So they have to kill this thing right here and now. And then, more than likely, the elite yautja, they will probably come down here and take out the rest of the Xenomorph. Or, more than likely, a possible scorched area scenario, or a scorched earth. Set off an explosive to destroy what will remain of all the Xenomorph on the planet. There's many ways this all could play out. They need to make sure this place is left unaffected. Otherwise, they might have another homeworld situation. Now, Deku, he's heard many things about this before. However, he's still confused by it. These things, they're the ultimate predator species, the ultimate thing to hunt. They're the alpha and apex of anything in the universe. But they apparently originate from a planet. It's strange to Deku. Where did these things come from? Now, while that's on Deku's mind, you do actually have a few sounds that do go on in the dark. And while Deku, he does at least have his plasma caster ready, he does keep something in his hand, as he does have his blades on the ready. And whenever something does go to lash out from behind Deku, he does go to throw his foot backwards and kick, as he actually does take a large slash across the part of his arm. Whenever Deku does take that, and he did go to throw the kick, the slash hit Deku. Deku going to turn his wrist and grab the tail, before immediately going to turn his body and pull. Him switching grips on the thing in his left hand as he's going to stab down the torch directly into the Xenomorph. Whenever he does go to do this, with his hand still on the tail, he does take the tip of it and go to directly jab it around and spin. Him jabbing it upwards into the Xenomorph's head. As Deku does go to pull back the torch and then look into the dark. There are many other Xenomorph there. He can see them. he can almost smell them. However, down here, many of them, they are waiting to attack. Deku can tell. They are walking right into the nest. And these things, they're afraid of the fire. They basically saw what happened up on the surface. And right now, Deku, he can't help but just wonder. Did this give them the advantage? Did this give them an edge? And if they're going to be ambushed by these things, exactly how many would he have to kill before he does get out? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.